Yo, we live. You now listening to volume 42 of the Bucket Up Podcast. Here with your boy Ty Doyle, aka DJ Buttersauce, aka Ty Lante, aka your mom called me over when she needs something done. And I'm here as always with the homie, the kid JB. What's good?
Living good, son. I always love to learn, you know what I'm saying? And I just found out the difference between a frappe and a frozen coffee. You want to know the difference?
What's the difference?
A frappe's got whipped cream in it. What's good, son? Volume 42 of the Bucket Up Podcast. It's me, the kid JB. Could have been right last week. They call me Monsieur Told You So. You know why? Because I'm not always right, but when I am, shit, I told you so. Nigeria in the World Cup. We out here winning, son.
Yeah, my surrogate sons.
Yeah, I'm walking around. I'm walking around my office like, yo, go Nigeria, and everyone doesn't want to ask like personal questions. So they're
like, yo, is Jesse Nigerian?
I'm like, yo, dare you ask me that? Like, I walk around.
Well, I don't look Nigerian, fam.
I'm like, the Star of David threw you off. Fuck out of here. But anyway, man, yeah, we made it. Apologize to the Buckets, man, on why we took a week off. I'm just playing. Don't apologize.
I'm not apologizing.
We got a life. Shouts. Nah, I was just saying. Inform the Buckets, man. Where were you last week?
Oh yeah, I went to Mexico, Rocky Point, Punta Penasco. I don't know if I said that shit right, but yeah, I was out there living on the beach life. Even though I ain't going to the beach, I was like, at the resort, looking at the views, drinking a whole bunch of brown liquor, and enjoying myself until Montezuma's revenge got my ass on Monday. But it was cool. It was fire.
All right, man. Well, welcome back. I think the Buckets were waiting on us. I was waiting on you, man. So shouts to that.
You could have just did a solo pod where it's just you talking to yourself and acting like it was you and me.
Yeah, I mean, that's half our text messaging, by the way. it's just me like texting myself and then answering questions out loud. But anyway, we're here, man. Episode 42. How was your weekend, bro? hit the folks with that fire take. I know you saw a movie.
Oh, I saw 2 movies, actually. I saw Incredibles 2. It was fire. Probably as good as the first, if not better. I said it on Twitter. I will never forgive Pixar for making 3 whole trash Cars movies before they gave us a second Incredibles 2. But yeah, definitely go see that shit. It's fire. Jack and give it to any of your fucking favorite superheroes. He got something for them. And then also I saw Jurassic World 2, whatever the fuck it's called, Fallen Darkness, something. Yeah, that shit was wild, B.
Damn. Well,
like I enjoyed the movie, but it was the whole premise is dumb. It's like, yo, we got to use these dinosaurs for weapons, and it's just like, wait, what? And then the dinosaurs eat the people, which is like, oh, surprise.
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
I always found it wild about people that deny dinosaurs. Like, they're kind of like, nah, man, people lived amongst dinosaurs, as if like the Flintstones was a documentary or something. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, my weekend was kind of chill. It was whatever. I had a shouts to Sir Remington, a 1-year-old birthday party.
Shout out.
But Friday night, I attempted to go work on some content for the product and go to Chiba Hut, which is like a sandwich shop, weed themed, and I failed Google. Google didn't fail me. I looked up the wrong times, and I went to the location that closed at midnight, not 2 a.m. And I rolled in there at 11:50.
Wow.
Looking like a fucking jackass, taking my laptop out and getting ready to dive in deep sandwiches. And the guy was like, oh, here's your food, man, and it's all wrapped up to go. And I was like, oh, I can't eat here? He's like, well, you can, but we close in 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, well, my bad. I thought you closed that too. He's like, that's the other location.
How mad I would be if I was working there and I was like ready to close up and I see a motherfucker in the corner setting up a laptop.
So then I was like, I was gonna work, man, and bust out my laptop and stuff. He's like, we don't even have Wi-Fi. I was like, oh. It's all around fail, man. And of course, so like, that's my Larry David moment. And then you know how people can't leave me alone in public. That's why I fucking stay at home. This guy, as I'm walking by, mind you, they called my name Jesse, and they were like, this guy just taps me and he's like, did they call you Rusty?
What?
Right. And I was like, what? He's like, is your name Rusty? I was like, no. He's like, oh, I thought they called you Rusty. I was like, no, man. Fuck, I gotta leave. So all of that was a fail, man. I got the food and I dipped. I can't just have a normal fucking interaction in a public place, Ty. But anyway, we're here, man. That was my weekend.
That was wild. I'm pretty sure the dude was high. I mean, it was Chiba Hut.
Would you? I'm high all the time, so I don't tap people on the shoulder and ask them if their name was Rusty and confuse that with Jesse. Yo, you're at a sandwich shop. Hey, the order's for Ty. Someone's like, did they say your name was Sly? Yes. Like, come on. I mean, I'd rather go with Sly and Ty than Rusty to Jesse. Fuck out of here.
I'm gonna start asking people now. Like, hey, yo, your name's Rusty? Oh shit, my bad.
Hey man, First Amendment. But anyway, we're here, man.
Oh my
god. But shouts because shouts to the Buckets, man. We have a special guest, a special present for y'all, man.
I know it's been a while. It's been a while since we had a guest on the pod, bro.
Yeah, man. We got a homie, a professional, a fucking entrepreneur. I don't know.
Beard savant, whatever you want to call it.
A beard savant too. He's got a wild ass beard.
True. That's true.
His beard is longer than my hopes in life. So that's wild. But yeah, let's give him the floor, man. Tim Case, welcome to the Bucket Up Podcast, bro.
What up, my guys?
What up?
Shit, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we've been waiting on you, man. Come on, be humble. We know we've been texting you nonstop. Like, yo, what about episode 1? And you're like, nah, let me. You guys gotta prove yourself.
I'm the biggest flake, man. I'm the biggest. I always tell people always invite me out, and I'm like, I reserve the right to flake on you, but I'll be there. So if I don't come up, it doesn't matter.
I think the thought that counts. That's tight. Good for you on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, appreciate you guys having me. As you guys said, I'm the beer guy, I guess, beard and beer. So it's good to kind of talk to you guys. Probably something not totally in your realm of everyday life as well.
Yeah, I know Jesse don't drink like that, but I fancy myself a drinker.
I know beards. I have a beard, but I don't know shit about beers. I mean, it's crazy how at some point in my life I was a hardcore drinker. Not hardcore, but shouts to Arizona State University. my alma mater, dude, that just turned me upside down. I mean, every myth and joke and story about the party school, it's true. So,
wait, so is that why you don't drink? You went to ASU and they turned your ass out, and you was like, you know what, I gotta chill out, bro.
It really kind of is that, man. It's like a humble. I don't want to sound like a snob when I say it, but it's kind of like that towel's been wrung. You know what I'm saying? Like
you partied out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'd rather get high than puke. That's just kind of where I'm at. But shouts to people that can do both, with I think Tim can do. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember the last time I puked from drinking, man. You just gotta know your limit.
Yeah,
well, shit, man. That's why we brought you on to educate me, man. Because
yeah, man.
I feel like it's not maybe that I don't like drinking, but maybe I'm not drinking the right stuff. But yeah, give the folks a kind of what you do. Shouts to, was it Upslope Brewery? Brewery.
Give the folks some background, and also me, because I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So I work for Upslope Brewing Company. They're based out of Boulder, Colorado. I've been brewing for 10 years now. They are the 7th largest brewery in Colorado. So I'm actually working for them here in the state of Arizona, all the Phoenix market, driving up to Flagstaff, driving down to Tucson, and in between. So it's pretty cool stuff. To put it into perspective, they brew 30,000 barrels. So a keg is a half a barrel. So when you're at that party out in college, and back when Jesse was drinking, those kegs, those are half a barrel. So they're doing 30,000 total barrels. And we're trying to get up to 35. 35,000 would be huge if we can do that this year. So, but yeah, I'm out here just slanging beer, going to restaurants, bars, some breweries, Top Golf, wherever I can try to get beer. And I'm going out there. I'm trying to get it there. It's the first thing I've sold that's legal. So it's pretty cool.
So how does that work? Do you just like you roll up to like a restaurant or a bar or something, and you're like, "Yo, I got some good shit for you."
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys, have all those sales reps around you at work. They're like, you got to kind of ease your way in at first. But hey, who's your bar manager? Who does the beer buying here? Hey, it's Jesse. Is he in, or is there a good day that he prefers people to always come in? And if he's there, you give him some beer. Maybe they'll drink it on the spot. Kind of talk to them about what they want to try to bring in. And, if they bring it in, I try to host an event, if they have a trivia night, come and just talk to people at the beers, whatever, clever, sell our beer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I will say, dude, like if you walked into a bar that I owned, I don't like to judge people, but I do it. And you look like someone that would entice me to buy your beer. You kind of have that look.
Yeah,
Like,
I got that Colorado look, I guess, even though I'm born and raised in Arizona. So it helps
just like the beer drinker, kind of like you would school me on any type of.
I feel like if you just came up to me and you was like, "Yo, you should try this beer," I would trust that shit.
Well, that's I would hope. The same
you
way.
have that going for you, dude. You have that going for you. So
yeah, it helps. I got good beer to sell, so it helps when it's like, hey, do you want a clean light beer, or do you want like a IPA? It's not nothing. We just make good beer, and that's the good thing about it. It's approachable.
Well, then, all right. So, shouts to Upslope because where I'm at when it comes to beer, like we were talking about, I used to smash, Coors Light, Bud Light, all that shit. You kind of know where you're at media wise, or I'm sorry, like money wise, as they're like the kind of the big dogs when it comes to marketing, right? You already know that these bars, no matter if it's a local pub to like a chain like Zips, they're gonna need those beers because those are on demand, like regardless. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I think you're smart enough to know that you're not even gonna compete, not necessarily compete with them, but like even try and like smoke with them because your beer may be, and it probably is 1,000 times better because it's better beer, but their marketing is just like, smashing it. So it's not even like worth being like, yo, drop the Bud Light and whatever. Like, I think it's smart of you to compete with the other unique beers in the tank, so to speak, or barrel. If you were making cheeseburgers, you wouldn't be like, yo, McDonald's is whack. I mean, your burgers are probably better than McDonald's, but you're not catching that media smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm never out there when I'm selling my beer out there saying, hey, Coors Light or any of those are bad. One of my favorite beers right now is Coors Banquet. It's one of those little 12-ounce bottles I got. I'll slam a bunch of those right now.
Is that Yellow Belly?
I don't know. Is that what the kids call it?
My roommate is a manager at a bar, and he brings home different beers, and his friends are always like, I sound old as shit saying this. Fuck. He's like 3 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? He brings his friends home, and they got, it says Coors Banquet, and they're like, yo, Yellow Bellies.
Yeah, I mean, the can's all yellow.
And it's like, it's fat like a belly. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't,
But at the same time, the people who are drinking those, they want to branch out, just like someone who's drinking their favorite whiskey, they sooner or later want to try something else.
Right.
So, I mean, our craft lager, it's that beer that people will drink it, and be like, oh, that's a really good Budweiser. And that's exactly what we want someone to say. Kind of like a gateway beer and the craft beer to kind of ease them into it, just so they can taste, what clean light beer should really taste like.
Shouts to that, man. I'm into gateway drugs, so
yeah, for sure.
I'm down. I'd be down for gateway beers. You know what I'm saying?
Sign me up, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that because I like sometimes I'll go to a restaurant or something and they'll have like the beer list, and I'm usually like I'll have like my fallbacks like like I get a Hefeweizen or something, but like usually I'm like let me try something new on this thing, and if it like if it look like it sounds good or the name like I feel like something like Upslope, I'll definitely be like let me just try that, see what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's what they're out there doing. They're when a customer that we're looking for is obviously someone who's really big into craft beer, but someone who also is just like, do you have this style of beer? Just like, a brown ale. Do you have an IPA? And not like a specific one. They're kind of just broadly looking. We have those beers for that person. And then for the same person who's slamming, like high quality IPAs all day, or these bourbon barrel aged stuff like that. Those people are still going to enjoy our beers and crush plenty of them because they're not over palatable. They're just good beers. And that's why it's really cool to work for someone who not only does a lot within Colorado, but also just the clean beers. It's easy to sell that way.
That's sick. Wait, so do you get like as much beer as you want for the free?
In a sense, I mean, when I'm out and about, working an event, I gotta buy some beers. I gotta support my stuff. Gotta talk to people about it. And lucky enough, I get to expense that part of it. So I get to go out for 2 hours and go to a bar, and people are playing trivia, and I'm laughing my ass off. And then I'm having 2 or 3 beers, and then at the end of it, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Get to go home, have a full belly of beer and food, but not overly. It's 2 or 3 beers. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, I've got a fridge always stocked with beers for sampling, and I poke out that here and there.
Nice.
Shouts to that, man. My brother is I always pronounce this title wrong. He's a wine guy, so sommelier.
Sommelier. Yeah. Damn, he's really?
Yeah, and
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, he's good at the shit. I try to, and I mean, the other day I tried to show him that Gary V, the dude that started Wine Library. He's got like a monthly wine club going, and my brother's a little spicy when it comes to like other people with wine though, because he's like, oh, I got my own wine for free, blah blah blah, and I'm like, so what? Then you probably like this wine too, but
right.
I mean, you don't really got the ego like he does though. It seems like you're willing to try other shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but that's funny, dude. When did you know? So like when you were partying in college and shit like that, when did you transition from drinking the party beers, like I was saying, the Bud Lights and the Coors Lights of the world, to being not only exploring other beers, but having this passion to pursue a career in it?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think it was just going out with buddies and always going to somewhere new. I remember going to watch the Celtics-Lakers finals. I think it was like the second, I forgot what year that was, like 2000.
Was that 2011?
I don't remember. Yeah, that was, but yeah.
2009 it had to be, or 2008 or something like that.
One of those, yeah. And I rember going out during that.
They played 2 different times, but it's all good.
No, it was the second one, I think. The one where Paul Pierce went off on a wheelchair and then came back and like,
oh shit!
I don't know what he did back there.
I think that was the first one. Yeah, so 2008.
Yeah, but you were just sitting at the bar. You're sitting there for a couple hours. Next thing you know, you're just looking at the menu. You're like, all right, what else can I try? I think it was like a Rogue Dead Guy, because I was just like, all right, that sounds cool. The bottle looks cool, and so after that, I was just always trying new stuff. And then I got this one app a couple of years ago, and it kind of like just went crazy with it. It's called Untapped, and so you would go, and when you're out somewhere, you can check in a beer. You guys have probably seen it pop up on my Twitter feed, and you just be like, oh, I'm out here, and you can rate it. And then next thing you know, you're always chasing a new beer instead of trying something that you already had. So after that, it was just like you're trying so many different beers that you try, that you're tasting different hop flavors and malts, and they added chocolate this and all this shit, and you're like, oh, okay. So once you get into that, start talking with people. I started working like beer festivals, volunteering, just getting in that community. It was just something I felt at home with, and really just kept pursuing it. Took me, I applied for a couple of them, but just had a lot of encouragement from people in the beer community and guys that work with already distributors and breweries, and something fell in my lap that was really awesome for me right now with these guys at Upslope.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That they let you do like a position from Arizona when they're based out of Colorado. And I mean, shit, it's kind of like, I mean, me and Ty talk about, the block is high. That's kind of like just having them push a new block, push some weight out in Arizona with someone on the corner. You know, like
yeah, that was their mindset. Hey, he already knows everybody. He knows all the spots to go to. They're like, we need someone to do that for us, and it's working out good.
That's sick. So I know, like, for sure that you're like, you got the Instagram shit working, and you've been like flexing how you go on all these spots and trying all these beers. So I'm guessing did that like help you like land the gig? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think that definitely helped. I started a Facebook group. Shouts to Arizona Beer Enthusiasts. We were like almost 2,500 deep in there, and it's just people posting daily what they're drinking, where they're at, funny stuff, all that. It's a cool little community. I started an Instagram page. I go out in public, breaking the law. Go up on bridges, go out in the desert, take photos of beer, and then that just kind of helped build, community, and then people I could approach at bars and breweries easily. So I think that definitely helped out. It's all networking, man. It's all about who you know.
Yeah, well, that's cool that you find a community that has a passion. Like I was saying, people tend to have egos or some sort of defensive mechanism when it comes to like talking about their knowledge of beer or their fandom or whatever. How do you separate? Because you're humble about it without trying to big you up. Like you are like, but me and Ty, shouts to ASU football, we came through for a tailgate, I think a year ago.
Yeah, go Devils.
And we brought some wild, what was it, Coors Light, because they had a good deal. And we were talking about like, well, we're not going to get a craft beer because we're going to be slamming this shit. Mm-hmm. And some people caught us, gave us the smoke about it, like, oh, Coors Light, blah, blah, blah. Like, we know it's trash. But at the same time, I think we're in the right because we're at a tailgate. Like, we're not going to bust out the fancy shit.
I mean, I think that's kind of the snobbery side of it. People, they get with whatever their vice is. But, I mean, people got to drink something at the end of the day. I'm not going to nag on you because you're drinking this or you're drinking that. I prefer you, drink Upslope. Go get it. Total Wine Bashes. Go find it. But, yeah, I mean, you can't dog on people like that. That's tailgate. It's like you just said, man. People are just there to try to party before we go watch the Devils. I think we won that game, right?
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it came full circle. They played against Cal, who's Davis Webb, quarterback, and now he's on the Giants. So
there you go. That's your next boy, right?
Yeah, so he's our future. So I saw him live. We ethered that. You know what I'm saying? We probably, but nah, because like, so there's that, and it's like, dude, I know. It's like, listen, I know this is not good beer compared to Upslope and all the good beers out there. But like, let me live. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't talk back, and it is what it is. But then on the other side, how do you? Because not to go at my brother or whatever, but like when we talk wine, my man looks like he's Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like he has to talk about the grapes and the fucking.
Oh, it's a romance story, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I describe it. I'm like with wine, they go in there and they're like, the father. He grew his grapes from his grandfather's father, and then now it's Giuseppe's farm, and he's got the soil like this, and then they do this with the stem to make the grapes do this, and then I come up there, I'm like, yeah, so this beer, we use this hops, they try it, they like it, what's the price? And it's yes or no, or it's maybe later, whatever it is. Where with wine, they're just like, they'll go through 5 of them, they'll spit them all out. It's just like a totally different vibe where. So with beer, it's just a conversation. It's just like, you want to sell your customers beer. You want to have it at a good price, but still make your money. Let's talk business.
Yeah, I see that. But have you ever drinking like a beer like that, like a small yay, or like take it like, oh, I can taste the.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the hops
with everything I drink, I'm now at that point where you're like looking for it, or you're trying to figure out, is it more malty, like a darker beer, like a stout, a porter, brown ale, or is it that hops? And it tastes, fucking tropical, man, or that's juicy, that's hazy, yeah. Especially when you go with those IPAs, that's where all that flavor pops out.
All right, talking about a beer snob real quick. Debunk this myth for me real quick, and I don't even know if Ty's heard this like hot take. real beer. You don't put fruit in real beer.
What?
Like
Like,
a fruity
like
beer isn't a beer.
no. Like you don't like the Dos Equis. Like if you're putting a lime in it, a lemon, an orange.
Oh, like a Corona. Like you shouldn't put.
If you yeah, like
Fuck
if
that. I'm putting my lime in my Corona all day.
right. No. I'm saying that's cool, but I'm saying then Corona is not up there with the real beers. That's what I was saying.
No, I mean, well, it's all like it's relative, you know. When you're like on a beach, when you're by the pool, I mean, you want something like a Corona with a lime in it. It's like, you know, refreshing at that point. So,
all right, cool. So, all right,
so
cool.
man, yeah. See, that's where people just get off with their like.
That's not my
snobbery,
take.
man.
That's
You
just
know
what
what I
I've
mean?
heard.
That's wild because I'm a snob if I see somebody with a Corona that don't got a lime in it.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this
What's
person
wrong
doing?
with you? Yeah.
Right? This motherfucker don't know how to drink a Corona. That's wild.
Shit, you put lime and then put salt on the Tecate can.
Ooh,
Okay, I don't care.
there you go.
All right, see, I'm an innocent bystander when it comes to drinking because I just be like, that's how you get down. All right, I don't, but
Yeah.
you know, but
I know. I get ragged on sometimes because I'll try, you know, a fruity beer. Like, you know, I like Mr. Pineapple from I forgot what it
Santan.
was. Santan. And like every time I'll bring something like that around, they'll be like, "Wow, Ty always getting these beers with fruits in it." I'm like, bro, it tastes good. I don't know why it matters, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not my cup of tea or cup of pineapple at the end of the day, but yeah, I mean, too, like it's just you can't be ragging on people. Whatever they bring, if they're gonna bring something to the party or bring something anywhere, at least they're bringing stuff.
well then, okay, so then help me out, bro. What's like a way of like another form of like a white flag or a way of like me to be like, yo, I come in peace. I don't know shit about beer. I'm just trying to contribute to the party or not show up empty-handed. Because I swear, dude, at least more times than less recently when I don't drink, people are like, oh, you like that beer? And I'm like, nah, I really don't. I just bought it just to contribute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, see, man, what's wrong with people? Why can't they just accept when people bring stuff? But I don't know, when you go somewhere, you know, or try to find like a liquor store, a local one that has craft beer and you know, advertise it outside, and just go in there and just be like, hey, what's new? I'm going to party and I don't want people rag on me because they're, you know, whatever, and just be like, what's something new that's good? And it's like not overpriced.
yeah. I guess I need to choose better friends if they're ragging on
Yeah,
me.
That's probably what it is.
Fuck.
Or does not care. Like, man, I paid for it. I don't give a
Yeah, no shit. All right, I'll put it in your fridge and I'll take it home with me when I leave.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
I'm like, man, I knew I should have brought the Blue Ranch Doritos. Damn. Fuck, man.
But shit, I mean, what I want to really know is like, because you tried all these beers, like if I'm you know, some broke college student out there right now, what's really like the best like cheap beer that you can get?
PBR.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go with PBR. That's just a staple, classics, that stuff. Hams. They're bringing hams back. I saw that at Fry's. That's like one of those old school Milwaukee beers, but it's like on the shitty side, people always say. But I slammed a couple hams last night. Whatever.
You went ham, so to speak.
What do they call it? Hampion or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, man.
Hampion?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Damn.
Oh shit!
I've never heard that one.
I don't know, man.
Damn.
Shit. But
Hampion.
yeah, I mean, you got to go with just those staples, because when you go to like a Yucca tap room kind of place, you always get the tall can of PBR. It's like $2 or something, $3 there where you're there. That's 16 ounces. That's cheap for when you're out and about. So you always got to snag those.
What about shouts to places like the Yard House or those places like I think BJ's Brewery that does fucking those ginormous mugs? I find often that the beer gets warm fast, and by the time you're at the bottom of the mug, it's nasty. So like,
this is what you got to do. Pedal House.
Right.
Shout out
Learn
to
me.
Pedal House on
Okay.
on Mill, where that AMC is, and that little tucked away.
right.
You got to go there. They do Steins, 32-ounce Steins, and they got lagers. It's like $9, and something about that Stein, man. It does not. I don't know. Maybe I just drink it fast enough, but that's it. But yeah, happy hours like all day Sunday, like $3 beers if you just get regular pint. I love that place, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'd rather catch myself having two cold cans, like, you know, back to
Yeah.
back, opposed to just like a giant mug. Because the mug looks appealing, that will draw me in. But then I'm just like, man, this was a waste.
I know at the Yard House they got the whole yard thing, but that shit is hard to like drink because you're like fucking you got this whole fucking scientific cylinder shit to drink. And you're like, man, I don't want to like hit somebody with this shit.
Oh yeah, my ass will be the one that spills it all.
Right?
And I'm like, oh,
without like pouring the whole shit down my face. Like
you're like Yard House. I don't even know the metric system. This is fucking me up.
Like yo, this is an actual yard, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, man, shouts to that. So when did you have your first beer? Or like, I mean, as a kid, like, you know, when did
I know.
like your first sip and then your first full on like I'm cracking this and drinking this?
My first sip was like called Red Dog. It's like one of those old school 90s beers, like from Miller Coors that they made. My dad gave it to me and I was like probably like 6, 7, I don't know. Just a sip and I was like, okay. But man, the first beer I had, I don't know. Just probably at some like random house, some random kid's house, getting stoned in high school and then passed through Budweiser. Like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. That was probably it for me. The first time I like party drank when I was in 8th grade. Went to visit my brother in college. Shout out to Oneonta State, upstate New York. And had 4 full Bud Lights. Bud Lights. And I was twisted off that.
Hells yeah.
And like, man, it's funny because I don't know, like, you know, in my prime, so to speak, at ASU, like nights where like me and a homie have polished off a 30 rack. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like we need to chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know.
That's crazy.
Do you guys ever do anything like high school or college, like crazy shit to get beer? Like, you know, you'd be like standing outside Circle K. Hey man, hey, can you, here's $20. Can you go give me a 12-pack?
Nah, luckily I was homies with like seniors and shit in high school that had fake IDs. I will say the wild shit was like when I would like finesse and conspire with like, you know, upperclassmen to try and get them to buy us beer and shit. They would go through the grocery aisle with the fake ID, and the people working would be my fellow classmates that damn knew that I was not, you know, of age. And
so we go to a different spot than
nah, but they'd let us cook, right? And then years later, I would come back to my hometown, and the same motherfuckers there are still working at the grocery store, and I'm of age to buy this beer now, right? Mm-hmm. So now I just go through the aisle like, yeah, the ID's good. Like, you know, 5 years later, 7 years later. Oh my
God, that's wild.
I'm like, you guys, wait, fuck it. It's just funny to come full circle. Because I remember I hide behind them and shit.
That's funny. We used to have the one spot that we just knew that didn't check IDs, so that's what we used to do. So we just rolled through there. But it was funny because I guess rolling it back, like my first time I had beer, I was probably like 6 or 7. It was like my uncle, and he's like, "Yo, come here, little nigga." Like, and he's like, give me like OG Budweiser. And I'm like, oh, this is terrible. What the fuck? Why the fuck y'all drinking? And so like I'm like going through life like in high school. I'm like, man, beer is kind of nasty. I don't really get why people drink it. And like we're at parties playing beer pong, and I'm already like I don't really fuck with beer. But then we're in people's basement, and like they're playing beer pong, and the ball's rolling and lint and fucking, you know, dirty mop juice and shit on the ground. And like they're just dunking it in water and throwing it back into the like beer. And I'm like looking at it like, yeah, nah, fam, I'm good. And just like fake drinking it and putting it to the side. So I was just like not fucking with it at all. But like, so like when we used to go to that store that like just let us rock, like we'd be like, fuck, I don't even really want to get beer. And so we used to get like them big ass thing of Smirnoff Ice and shit. Just like rocking with those. Didn't even know we were icing ourselves, man. Shit was wild. But then when I went to college, I grew up because then I started drinking more beers. I started drinking like Red Stripe and shit, and like rocking with way more shit. I was like, you know what, beer's good. Now I really like it. So it's just kind of funny how that one little taste was just like, man, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah.
But see, it's funny how people bounce back to beer. I mean, not to go off topic, but it's funny how like people have one bad experience with weed. They're like, I'm never smoking again.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have a bad beer. They're like, maybe in a couple years.
Oh yeah, man. That's the like as a sales rep, that's the biggest component. Like someone's like, oh, I hate IPAs because they had that one IPA that was just like total hoppy and just like bitter, like that classic bitter beer face. And then they're just like, fuck IPAs, and you're like, hold up, like try this, like this is why you're tasting that. This is what this is, and like to educate someone, and they're like, oh okay.
Well, shit, you just educated me. They not all hoppy?
Well, no, I mean like they are. You can't hide hops, man. At the end of the day, that's like what.
Word. I'd be at the gym every day, son.
Working on that vert.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It shows. I can almost touch the net. No,
working on that 42-inch vert.
Yeah, we out here. Episode 42, Bucket Up Podcast.
But yeah, man, you got it. So like that's what the whole thing is. Like the hops will have that bitter qualiness, but then that is it citrus? Is it tropical? Like what kind of hops are you going to get out of there? But you can mellow that out with certain components when you're brewing and all that stuff. So you just got to have the right IPA.
Okay.
For people like myself, I'll admit I'm a little ignorant when it comes to beer, and other things, but we're talking beer. I chalk everything that's not a mainstream beer, quote unquote, an IPA.
As an IPA.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. Yep.
No, but not Ty. See?
Oh, man. So this
he just gave me the wow.
Yeah, I got a story about that. So we're having like a little house party for like New Year's one time, and my wife's cousin was over, and he's like, oh, what are you drinking? I'm like, oh, it's an IPA. He brought over an IPA. Oh, he's like, oh man, why do you only drink IPAs? I'm like, hey man, I'm like, it's just my thing right now. Like they're good. It's like 7%. I'm gonna get drunk, drink a couple, I'm good. And then everything's IPA, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, hey man, try this. You like whiskey? Try this barrel aged brown ale. Tries it. He's like, man, that's the worst IPA I've ever had. I'm like, it's not a fucking IPA. I just told you. So that's just the thing, man. Like, yeah, you like if it's not Bud Light or Coors Light or whatever, like, oh, it's got to be an IPA.
That's funny, man. Like, I keep making the reference to weed, but like people say Kush as a generality. Maybe people are saying IPA as a generality because Kush is a type of weed. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Kleenex effect.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got
you know how people will say, "Oh, hand me a Kleenex," this and that, but really they're just talking about a tissue. A Kleenex is a brand.
Oh,
like
yeah.
People just refer to it. Same thing with styrofoam. That's really a brand. It's not what it's called when you say, "Oh, styrofoam cup" or something.
True. Like yeah, I think Velcro too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Velcro as well. Yeah. So that's kind of funny. I always thought everything was just like craft beers. Yeah. That's what I went by.
I thought duct tapes was for ducks, not like vents. Like actual duck. I was like, why the like you would
get the fuck out of here, man.
I thought that was a little kid, not recent. As a little kid, I definitely was like, man, why motherfuckers taping ducks, fam? That's wild.
Yeah. Nah, I thought like if you need to tape their like beaks closed or some shit. Like I don't know.
Like what is this alligator shit? You got
I thought Gorilla Glue was for gorillas.
Oh shit! But,
hey man, whatever.
Yeah, but not all beer is IPA. You just got to know what it is. I mean, there's a pale ale, there's an IPA, there's stouts, porters, brown ales, Goza, saisons. Man, that shit goes on forever.
Do brown ales matter as other colored ales?
Yeah, they do.
All right, cool.
Right, so it's India Pale Ale, right?
Yeah, that's the whole, and like everyone conflicts with the story of it. The most one, even that I still believe, I don't know, someone probably school me, be like, you've been fucking looking up the wrong Google page. But they would say that it was coming from, when Britain was colonizing everybody, and when they're in India, they were traveling, and for the beer, they like added more hops, so they had to kind of just have higher amounts of alcohol when it got there, or all that shit. So it was just called because of that India Pale Ale. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Now it just means it's like 7% pale ale that has a lot of hops. to give it that characteristic.
So I was about to say, because is there like other country pale ales, like American pale ale?
Yeah, there's a Belgian pale ale. There is an
okay.
American pale ale. There's East Coast, West Coast pale ales.
Oh shit!
I like the East Coast one better.
Yeah, the East Coast. The East Coast are like those orange juice looking ones. You probably seen me post photos where it just like looks like I'm fucking drinking orange juice. And they're like super juicy. They have that low bitterness, but they can still have a ABV of like 6 to 10% even. And then the West Coast are like those true like Lagunitas Stone, kind of like a piney, whatever, beach IPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, food's my shit. You know what I'm saying? I think there's not to try and okay, I'll give you some advice. I think to try and get people into drinking, like myself, that is not normally into drinking, my avenue would be food.
Yeah.
So if you pointed out different foods that your beer went with, I'd be more into it than if you told me like, yo, this tastes like other beers. Because I'm like, well,
That's a good point too, because I never know what beer like go well with whatever food the hell I'm eating. Sometimes I'll be eating and I'll try the beer. I'm like, yo, this tastes wild together.
Yeah, right. I mean, they do that wine, alcohol, that like, oh, you gotta drink your whiskey with this. Yeah, it's kind of, you can go off of the characteristics of, light and easy drinking. So maybe like a lager, something like a Bud Light style. Eat some shrimp or some pasta with it. Kind of maybe something with some malts, something that has dough, like pizza, because that has that yeast and all that stuff. IPAs are kind of depends. Like even still pizza or something like spicy Cajun or
like wings
Indian
or something?
food. Yeah, with wings, an IPA and wings. Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, because I think that would be, I guess, maybe a way to approach it. I guess
they got beer dinner where these chefs will give you like six plates, and each plate has a different beer that it pairs with because of the characteristics of, you get the fucking braised beef and this and that, and you're like, fuck yeah, dude, tastes good.
Yeah, man. I will say shouts to Four Peaks, the place that actually took my fake ID back when I was not of the age to drink.
It's wild.
But I'm back. They do that in their menu. They'll name the beers that they have.
Oh yeah, I think I've been there. Yeah.
And the food will yo, get this beer with this food. It's A1. But bro, hear me out. Just like everything else in this fucking world, like movies and food, everyone's got their own opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you take that, and remove the fact that at the end of the day, it's just somebody else with their taste buds that could have a wild analysis and different fucking overall taste of the beer.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's true. With people, how people even rate their beers. Like I was talking about that app a little earlier. Like, it's on a 5-scale rating. They'll give this bourbon barrel age because it's 13% and it's been sitting for 6 years in this barrel at this brewery a 5. But a lager that's just like a Bud Light, a good one of those, they'll give it only a 3.5. Where I'm like, dude, that's a fucking great lager. I give that shit a 4.5 or 5 because in the moment, like that is exactly what I wanted. So people just get this, thing going. You just you understand that it could be them in the moment. It could just be like that one bad experience, but it's fucking beer at the end of the day.
Right.
And there's so fucking much of it. Like, God, you're going to find something you like and just drink it, chill. And try Upslope. Hey.
I mean, we will. Maybe we can get on one of your videos and do like a beer review or some shit.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done that forever. Let's definitely do that.
We can do a beer review in a bucket hat.
I'm definitely going to try. Where you guys? So I know you said you're in Bashes, right?
Yeah, Bashes, Total Wines, some of the Bevmo, some of the liquor stores. Shouts to a couple of my favorite. Bottle Shop 48 in Tempe. There's King's down in downtown Phoenix area. Craft Beer Hop Stop, Quick Stop, Craft Shop. There's a couple goodies out there. And then cool little spots. Like I try to work with Native in Tempe on Broadway. The guy's always bringing one of our beers. So, people can try something when they have their their 50-cent wings or whatever they do. So I try to always go to cool spots like that. So
do you guys do like cans or bottles? Like what does it look
so
like?
We are only cans and kegs. So we have this big thing that we call our, welcome to can country. It's super conservative for the environment, of course. You can take that shit on a hike. You can, take it when you're mowing the lawn, one hand on the lawnmower, the other one you're just chugging a beer, like whatever you're doing, picking up dog shit. You want to have something that's convenient. So that's why we're only cans in that sense.
Okay. That's cool. What does it look like? Because I know sometimes people be like, yo, try this beer out. And I'm in the fucking Total Wine looking for forever because I don't know what the hell that shit look like. I'm like, what the fuck is that it? Nah, that's some other shit.
Like, it looks like an Arizona iced tea can. You're like, well, fuck.
There's some of them that do, those big 24-ounce ones. No, ours is just those 12-ounce cans. They're very clean, slick looking. Our logo is right in the center, kind of like on a shield kind of looking, with a mountain logo, and just says Upslope, very clean. Every different beer can or style has a different color, like a gold, blue, red, all that kind of stuff. So very easy to find, very clean. The logo, everything like that. It's just, you can't be snotty in everyone's face when you have good beer. You just let it speak for itself.
That's what's up. I'm fucking hyped. I might go to the fucking
let's go shotgun one, man.
Grab one, bro.
We have to.
We'll meet you in the parking lot, man. I'll shotgun with you. Fuck yeah, dude.
Me and Ty were talking about getting our Instagram up, and we got to do some live videos. Maybe we'll do a beer review on that shit, man. Like a dual review. But with that, besides the word of mouth and it's forever. I was going back to it, with the marketing and the media. How do you think, or outside the box, a way to get your foot in the door, so to speak, with the big hitters, like the Budweiser commercials, the Bud Miller Lights, all that shit? Because I think Anheuser's the NFL's biggest marketing or biggest sponsor.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Which is ironic, but but how do you, or what? Just as somebody that has a passion for it and, a knowledge of social media and an understanding of how this shit works, what do you think is a good idea, a good, I don't know, step in the right direction that maybe a company like yours that is small and local could get on the scene?
Yeah. You've got to really stay true to just that, local, small, independent. When you say you're an independently owned brewery, that's huge. Speaks volume. It means that you can approach everyone in the brewery. I'm 12-hour, 13-hour drive away, but I can call the owner. Shout out to Matt. Fuck yeah, dude, you kick ass. Great beer. I can I can reach out to them. They're always here for me, all that stuff. So with that, with that being said, it's just, you got to stay true to that. Marketing things, we just did our first billboard 10 years into being a brewery, but we were very I think the way they went about it was very smart. Just the message, the welcome to can country. It's a can sitting out in the Colorado Rockies, very clean. That's just something powerful. We've only been making cans, and we've got to be proud of that, especially in the day and age where aluminum tariffs, if something that kicks in, that could really hurt beer with kegging, and because no one's making kegs in really the United States.
Really?
If they are, it's on a really small scale. So these are all coming from out of the country, and that's expensive. So if things like that, you got to take into consideration. So not being afraid to go against the big guys, but also know that you got to work with them. Miller Coors is the distributor who we go through out here in Arizona. They, are running the the Crescent Crown. They're the team working with them. And so, that's, you've got to understand that, we're not bought out by any of the big breweries. We're still independent, but we can work with them because they know that craft beer is profitable.
Yeah, that's smart, Jay. I mean, it's only on the come up. I mean, regardless of how people catch on to trends, not to chalk it up as a trend, but regardless if it is for them, it's a win for you. may it be a trend or may it be just somebody exploring and expanding their palate. You know, I think that is on the rise, opposed to like the generic beers, like the, you know, old school straight, you know, beer light or beer this or beer that, you know, like
Yeah.
it's now the swing in the direction of like, yo, this is made from this mountain, from that lake, from this
Yep.
river, from that fucking mountain, you know, from this snowfall, from this blizzard, from this car crash, you know, like shit like that.
Yeah, we took the fluids from this car crash. Man.
Yeah.
A lot of tears, straight up.
If you taste the gasoline, like, yeah. But no, all that shit's
Yeah.
cool, man. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's for me, you know, I guess a way for me to get back into, not necessarily like it's a sport, like get back into drinking or get back into craft beers and shit. I think I'll allow myself to kind of remove that, like, well, shit, I don't like IPAs, so I'm not gonna touch this beer. It may not even be an IPA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
But like I said, with other foods and other drinks like wine, there'll be times where I'm like, yo, I had this wine and I enjoyed it. And my brother will be like, oh, that shit's shit. And I'm like, ah, well, fuck, my bad. I shouldn't have told you, you know? Like,
Yeah, man.
you know what I'm saying?
Whatever,
So I'm going to try a beer. I'll try Up Slow, of course. Shouts to the brand.
Yes,
But
sir.
I'll also, you know, when I'm at a restaurant getting wings or something, you know, I'll try something new and I'll chalk it up to, you know, it's a new beer. Even if it happens to be an IPA, it happens to be an IPA. But
Yeah.
I'll remove the ignorance.
Shit,
Yeah.
dude, I've had friends text me like, hey, I'm out here. Like, what should I get? What's the beer? Like, or I'm going to this brewery, I'm meeting people up. Like, what should I get? Like, fucking hey, dude, hit me up.
Mhm.
That's my job now.
Well,
I always gotta be talking about beers, but
shit. What do you think is any other beer myths, like I was talking about with the, you know, the fruit and the beer, stuff like that? Is there any beer myths or any like
or anything, any qualms? You got any beer hot takes you try and get off?
or
your
stigmas?
chest.
Yeah, any things that we could debunk right now?
oh
can-
shit.
I can fight with people on Twitter with.
Fuck yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, that the thing about not every beer is an IPA, or you know, white people only drink IPAs, like that kind of shit. Like, you know,
Why is that?
I don't know, but people just got that stigmatism on it. Like,
I know
it's a white person's drink and everything like that, man. Like, no, shouts to my boy Juan. He's at every beer festival
There you go.
and he gets in somehow and volunteers, but doesn't do a fucking thing, but just gets drunk and like, that's my dude, but whatever. So
Shouts
yeah,
to that, dude. I worked at a beer tasting festival one time. Shouts to, I don't even fucking know. Oh, the name of the beer was called Sophie and
oh, Goose Island.
Goose Island. Yeah, shouts to that.
Yep.
And I worked for them for a weekend, one day. It was like 5 hours. I got paid $50, some shit like that. And I thought it was gonna be easy peasy.
No.
People don't understand the difference between a beer tasting and a regular event, because this whole point of the beer tasting was you get a little small Dixie cup and you get the beer, and then you cross off, you get like 12 free tastings, and then you sample the beer, and that is what it is. I had motherfuckers walking up to me being like, yo, can you just give me 12 and cross off all 12 check marks? And I'm like, my man, like, this is my one and only venture at one of these events working, and I can already tell you're doing this shit wrong, dude. Like,
dude, I'll go like at the end of a beer festival, I'll have like, you know, sometimes you're lucky enough and all the beer gets, you know, sampled and everything like that. Sometimes you have a couple 6-packs and you're like packing up. The one dude just runs up to you like at the end, shit face, bro. If I give you like 5 of these tickets right here, can I take a 6-pack with me? And it's like, we call it. I'm like, fuck no, dude. Like, that's money right there. Hey, like they just like think because they've got tickets or what. I got to deal with a lot of that shit. And I'm just like, hey man, I understand. I'm fucking working though, so
yeah. But I was just saying,
whatever.
like, for the culture of beer drinkers, I was like, I'm not even in that club, and I can tell you're disrespecting, and I can just tell like the homie Tim would not claim you. You know what I'm saying? Like, You know what I'm saying? Like you out here just like, yo, I went to a beer like he probably told his friends like I went to a beer tasting. You know, like I know beers.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
beers.
right.
It's like, bro, you just fucking ran up on me in the first 5 minutes and was like, yo, let me get all of those. Like, you didn't go to a beer tasting. You are a fiend, you know?
Yeah.
So I think, like, I don't know, there's levels to that.
I was gonna ask though, because like I tried IPA and I was like, oh, it's a little too hoppy for me, but like I understood it because I understand higher alcohol content, get drunk faster. That sounds like my type of shit. Yeah, but like the one beer that I didn't get, that when I was out with the homie and he was like, like, yo, you should try this, was like the sour brews. I don't understand that at all. Yeah. I'm not about it.
Yeah, so my first sour I ever had literally tasted like puke, and it was just like pungent.
Oh,
and
shouts! I eat puke all the time.
Hey, good for you, man. Wow. Hey, man, if you're broke, you gotta do what you got, right?
Yeah, broke boy diaries. You're out here.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the first one I had, I was just like repulsed by it, and I was just like, yeah, fuck that shit. And then next thing you know, later on, like you just have the right one kind of, and you understand what's going on. It's like supposed to be funky. You're letting the shit do it and not, that you're letting bacteria do its thing. There's nothing wrong with that sometimes, but
word.
Yeah, but yeah, it's those beers literally are, some people are just like, I hate it, but a chick will come up into a bar and be like, so I'm really big into sours right now. Do you have any? Because it's like, you
did an awesome girl voice. That was the best. That was fire.
Ask any fucking bartender at a craft beer bar or whatever. Like chicks will say that all the time.
That's
Same
awesome.
thing though. Like dudes will be like, "Yo, can I get an IPA, bro? I need one." That's like, but so it's definitely an acquired taste. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me. I've never been into sour anything, sour candy, sour.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, bro, why? If I want candy, I want something sweet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to out here like doing this wild face sipping on my drink, looking like a goddamn idiot. You know what I mean?
That's funny that you said that. My roommate has his own kegerator. My roommate built a kegerator out of an old fridge that our neighbors were trying to get rid of, and right now he has a strawberry sour, cute strawberry something sour.
You got a whole keg of it? How? Like, I feel like you had that for a year because, like, how quick are you drinking that?
Yo, my roommate goes through a keg quickly.
How do you really a full big keg?
That?
My man, have you not seen the fridge? Both of you have been to the crib. I don't know. If
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah, my man flips those like within a month and a half. Like, are you kidding?
I'm just saying, like a sour one, because you can't chug that.
No,
he can. He drinks them. I don't know. I don't know the numbers he's doing, but I'm guessing. Tim, how many beers are in a keg? 52?
Well, it's the big one. It's like 124. If you're
way
like,
off. I was way off.
If you're getting like optimum pours.
Well, he drinks about, let's say, 8 a day.
What?
Yeah.
God, dude, really? That's fucking obscure. Like, I don't even know if I drink 8 beers a day.
On the high, 5 to 8.
All right, whatever. Yeah, I can drink about 5 a day.
Okay, so there's around 30 days in a month.
But you think about it, he's probably only doing that from 5 to 10 p.m.
No. My man.
Is he just at home all fucking day?
No, probably like he works hard though. He works like late hours till like 7 or 8, and then he'll be up getting them in.
Gets them in. Good for him, man.
Yeah, but I was just saying he came home. He's like, yo, you should try this beer. You'll like it. It's called sour, and I'm thinking like sour Skittles, or sour gummy worms or some shit like that. The stoner in me is thinking candy and shit like that, but. Yeah, I guess that's the new wave, and that's what I was getting at though. Like it may be a trend though, and regardless if it's like if somebody, you're the supplier, right? So regardless if they want to get on your beer because some of their friends drinking it, or they're exploring, or they're just blindly choosing it, it's all good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we want anyone to try our beers. We're not going to stray away from that, but yeah, there's totally. Trends that go on within the beer community, like this, beer styles will stick around, and then After a while, people are like, okay, I've had every one of that style I could have. Let's try something new, or they just always go back to the classic styles.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. I think depends what I eat tonight. It depends. Yeah, like I said, I will say, hey, with sushi, I'm a big sushi fan. Japanese beer, I'm a big fan of like
Oh, I need to
Sapporo,
try that.
Sapporos, yeah.
Kirin, Asahi, and then what's the fourth one that everyone likes?
I don't know. I don't know any of
There's-
those three.
Kirin, Asahi, Sapporo, and Ichiban or Ichi.
Oh yeah, Ichiban or something
Something like
that.
that, or Ichiro, or something, some shit like that. Ichiro, Hideo Nomo, or some shit. Some shit like that. But yeah, shouts to that, and then shouts to Saki because I do bang with that. And
Yes, sir.
but I'm not. Yeah,
I got a homie that fuck with Sapporo heavy. I need to try. I've been meaning to. She was telling me too to try some shit called like Lambrick Frambrios or some shit.
Oh yeah,
what is that?
it's
sounds like an actor.
yeah, it's super fruity. Like they'll have like raspberry. It's almost like it's like a wine kind of. I would say it's closer to wine in that style. Fuck, I haven't had one of those in forever. Those are kind of another one of those things that get associated with like chicks. Like chicks love those and stuff. I mean, but shit, I've seen guys pound those.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. Bro.
Yeah,
I gotta try that shit. I gotta try all these things. For real.
We'll get you guys started on the right foot, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think the first step in the direction is we gotta go hit Bashes or any of the other spots you named to get a case of Upslope Brewery.
Yes, sir.
What that? It comes in a 6-pack. Like, what's like an average?
Yeah, 6-packs, man. $8.99 is usually the general price around there, and that's some people are like $8.99. I mean, I'd be spending $16.99 on my 30-pack. Yeah, you are for a reason, but yeah, it's $8.99 6-pack. That's kind of that general range when you're getting that craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, when you're at a bar, you go and get a pint. You know, maybe you're getting that for like $5. You know, $3 on the low end. That's 16 ounces. So you go out and you spend $20, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm faded." But take that and you get like 3 6-packs almost, and you're at home trying to drink all those. You're fucking faded.
Right. Yeah, I don't get why people complain, but I never can. $9 is fine for a 6-pack because, like you said, you go to a bar, people spend like $12 on a cocktail, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, and that cocktail is like what, 3 ounces or some shit.
Right, it's watered down as
watered.
Yeah. I always say, as long as it's not over double digits and I'm spending money on it, I don't need a W-2. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As long as it's $8.99, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but if you double digits, nah, you lost me on that.
I hear that, man.
$9.99.
Us lizard people, that's how we roll. You know what I'm saying?
That is fair.
But yeah, man. Tim, we want to thank you for coming on the pod, bro.
For real.
You know, we've been trying to expand our palates when it comes to beer and expand the platform. You know, for the buckets out there that want to share their voice and their passion. And you truly did educate me on some shit, bro. And I will, like I said, remove the mask that is my beer ignorance, and kind of expand a little more. But yeah, so thanks for coming on.
Fuck yeah, guys.
And shouts to the time we had. Ty, anything else?
Nah, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm gonna go, try out Upslope. I'm gonna, try some more IPAs, see if I can find one that I fuck with. But definitely good having you on, man.
Good. Yeah, and at this time, Tim, we usually hit the buckets with our favorite bumper time of the pod. It's called Song of the Week. I know you're into music, a big music fan. For those that can't see you, I think you have music notes tattooed on your arm or some shit. You're a drummer.
Yes, sir. Sitting at my drum set right now, actually.
Right, and you probably do other musical things. But what is there a song of the week you've been vibing to, or a song you've been jamming out that you want to share to the buckets, maybe, or maybe an artist that is also on the radar to come?
You guys, man, I saw this when I know you guys do this every week, and I was just sitting there and I was like, fuck, what song, shit, just like almost stressing over it.
Good.
That's a big, this is a big thing, song of the week. But so I wanted to make sure I kind of found something that was more recent. So I'm big into the EDM scene, but not. I don't really like too much housey stuff. I kind of like that mix of, the trap and then just good vibes. So there's a DJ called Nightmare. It's just NGHTMRE, but he got with Pell, and they put out a song called Swiss. And it just came out this week, and I've been listening to it probably like once or twice a day. Just a really good vibe. And Pell, I've heard him on a couple other tracks with some DJs, and I think everyone he fucking just crushes it.
Nice, sick. That's what's up.
I usually hit the fans with something mainstream and redundant that I've been vibing to, and then Ty brings them with the newness. So shouts to my man Nas. He just recently dropped an album. I know Ty is iffy on it, which we'll talk about it in the next podcast.
Now we can talk about that shit right now if we want
to. I want that energy though. I will say though, shouts to Adam and Eve from the new album Nasir. Ty's a little off and on about it because some of the lyrics are a little against where he lies politically, but
no, some of the bars are like Nas been watching too many YouTube videos, bro. That's fine. There's been anti-vaxxer bars. I can't do it.
Okay, but that's fine. Not in this song though. Adam and Eve is just about some regular Nas shit.
It's still Nas, so the bars, they're well put together.
Right.
But like the content of like, the shit that he's saying, I'm like, bro, you gotta relax, man.
Okay, but I was
there like watching Alex Jones and shit.
Nah, it's just like
okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just one homie that like tell you like, yo, you gotta check out this YouTube video, and it's like he's telling you can't trust the mainstream media, but he's getting all these facts from a YouTube video. Like I just can't, you know what I mean? Like he's out here saying that Fox News would start by a black dude, and it's like, bruh, like you gotta chill, man.
Ty doesn't like his, the Ty doesn't like.
It's not the political. It's
not the political. It's just
wrong. That's all.
Okay, but as hip hop heads, there's some lyrics that you just gotta flow with, man. Like as feminists, we love women, but bitches ain't shit but hoes and chicks.
All right, I get that.
Sing.
Here's the thing: it's cool if it's like you're receiving it and you're like, all right, this is like rappers talking rap shit, like it's not that big a deal. But this motherfuckers, there's people out here who hold Nas in an esteem where they think he's smart. So if they think he's smart, they think that what he's saying is real, and they're gonna take that shit as at its face value. And to me, I'm like, bro, that's bullshit. That's dangerous for you to do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To be talking about bars about not giving your kids vaccines, like that's irresponsible to me.
Because there's gonna be some motherfucker out there is like, fucking Nas told me that, so I'm not gonna vaccine my kids.
They're already on the fence, and then they hear Nas. They've been praising Nas since the '90s, and they hear him say something like, "You know what? I'm gonna let my kid get the measles, man." Fuck that.
So Nas should shut up and dribble. Is what you're
saying? There's an outbreak of
shut up and dribble.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, bro, you can't be saying wrong.
Let him rap, man. I caught myself in the pool singing to Kid Cudi. I'm drunk. Was he saying I'm driving drunk? I'm doing my thing. Like I don't drive drunk, bro. Like fuck out of here.
No, it's again for you. It's cool because you're not about to not vaccinate your kid.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if he had a wild bar against anti-fucking circumcisions, I'd probably still listen to it. But I'm like, my kids still, my kid,
like that bar in at all. Like, yo,
my kid's still gonna get circumcised. And if my favorite rapper, Big L, came back from the grave and rapped against circumcision, I'd be like, yo, did you hear that new song?
No,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm against it. That, like, how dare you?
Yeah, I didn't even say it was bad. I was just the content was just like, nah, I'm okay. I just don't want
everybody. If I had a chance to talk to Big L and he made a song about like don't get your kids circumcised, I'll be like, yo, can we talk about this? It's a good song, but I think differently. But anyway, my song of the week was Nas, Adam and Eve. What's yours, Ty?
All right, so we weren't on last week, so I got a lot of shit. A lot of shit in music happened. We had Jay-Z and Beyonce drop a tape that was fire. We had Kanye with the Nas shit. And then Tiana Taylor dropped this week. That's pretty good. People should check that shit out. But the one that I've been rocking all week, I listened to the J-Rock album drop called Redemption. That shit is fire. I listened to it on Friday night before I was leaving. or Thursday night before I was leaving in Mexico. And I was a little sleepy, so I was sleeping on it a little bit. But once I listened to it after I got home, that shit is brazy, fam. So my song of the week, I'll probably put it on the pod, is Knock It Off by J Rock. Definitely go check that shit out.
Cheer. Well, thanks for putting us on to the new music. You know, it always takes me months to catch on.
Yeah.
I'm like,
bro, you gotta get Spotify. You be hitting me up like, yo, send me the link. Like, bro, I don't got a link. I'm just on Spotify, bro.
I'm the same way, man. I don't have Spotify either.
Y'all gotta get on Tidal or some Apple Music, somebody.
Okay, listen, the same respect, I got homies on their Snapchat smoke a weed, and I'll be like, yo, let me get some. I'll say the same shit to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what, you want me to drive over to you?
Yeah, so if you're talking about, bro, anything, I'll touch on, I'm commentary, dog. I'm gonna touch on everything, you know what I'm saying? I'll say stupid shit like that, you know? But anyway, man, Mama, we made it. Episode 42. Tim Case, Ty Doyle, butter sauce. He out here mixing it up.
For real.
Yeah, I was gonna say thanks again for putting up with me for yet again another week. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how Tim does it. But shouts to you guys for putting up with me and letting me get these takes off. And for the rest of the world, Ty, if they want to listen to the Bucket Up podcast, how do they listen to us, bro?
Oh yeah. Also, yeah. Obviously, check us out on SoundCloud. I'm sure they know how to listen to it if they're already listening to us. But if you want to get other people listening to it, like, yo, tell them that we obviously are on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. Anywhere you can just find fucking podcasts and shit. But yeah, if you fuck with us heavy, hit us up on Twitter at the Bucket Up Podcast, and on Instagram we're the Bucket Hat Boys, and we're also on Facebook. So definitely check us out. Leave a review, 5 stars. If you want to leave a 0 stars, fuck you. Get off our page. But yeah, thanks for listening as always. But we out.
Chip.
Chip.